by tradition.
Hold
And that
tight.
is hold tight the 3-point collectors.
Next thing, Tottenham are whipping boys for Liverpool. You lot ain't beat us in how long? So look at your face. So when I
I'm about to run.
they forget about when the council is going to take the free.
Oh, for real? When there was a little car park out front. Let's talk about sex, baby.
Let's hold
Liverpool. And as much as we can talk about Mane is a good player, Salah's a good player, they're just not the X factor, bro. Don't forget about it.
Welcome back to another episode of Stoppage Time TV. We're live in the flesh, live and direct in the fixture. You already know what time it is. As you can see, there's a different seating arrangement, different formation. We're kind of being like United. We've got the false nine here. We're dealing with the two forwards at the top, because obviously our boy is not here. He's living life, obviously. Annual leave, the body's not made out of stone. You got to enjoy once in that. So,
Dang, bro, niggas get into relationships and all of a sudden there's concerts here and listen, we are watching.
Wait,
we are watching.
Don't let him catch you.
We
bro,
need you back.
Listen, you already know what time it is. Show is presented by Manscaped. Cyber Mondays when this comes out. So remember, you can get some exclusive deals through them. But of course, STTV gets you a 20% off. So make sure you go and do what you got to do. You got, your ball deodorant, your ball toner. No, man, it's not just for the girl them or for the man them, it's for the girl them as well. It's called Manscaped, but anyone can skate. You see it. So go and do what you need to do. Christmas is coming. Thanksgiving has come, but you can still give thanks, to people. So yeah. But without further ado, let's
go continental.
Then we'll
like that,
fam. You know what, there, stopping so what, fam. We got
Cross-continent.
fans. You know what, on that note, yeah, we've actually got hold tight the international fans.
For real, actually. You
It's
know
not even hold
what?
tight. We're not going to start with the 3 points.
Yeah.
Hold tight the international fans. Because some of you lot. Yeah,
Bro, real talk now, real talk. Big
Real
them up
talk.
because we get fucking questions and shit sent in from New Zealand,
from
Australia,
everywhere, from everywhere.
South Africa's another one as well.
Yeah,
a little
hotspot.
hotspot. I don't know what's
Lagos,
happening
Nigeria.
there, but we appreciate
My
you, man, in the
cousins
Cape Town.
My cousins, them in Nigeria, I respect
Hey,
it.
trust me, yeah.
Obviously, you got the East Africa.
got the hometown love,
those
yeah,
there.
bro.
Massive fan love.
Hey,
fan
we love
love.
it.
What's that? We got Quentin Congo.
Hey, we said,
What's the name?
Kinshasa repping. I love it.
What's what is it?
Come
Hold
on.
tight the Wan-Bissakas and that.
Hey,
we see
hey.
you, don't worry. The Bobby Kasangas and that, don't
For
worry,
real.
man. We respect that. But before we go on as well, RIP Virgil as well.
Hey, for real.
For people that probably think that's a bit random, Virgil did have a lot of sort of influence in football and culture as well. So hold tight. I mean, it's very, very sad news. It feels like
It's mad.
when Chadwick passed just out of nowhere. So
Bro, that's the thing, yeah. It's like two big black celebrities, you would
Iconic.
say. Iconic.
Icons,
big
yeah.
actor who was doing his thing in the scene.
Yeah,
big
yeah.
fashion designer who was making big
Well,
splashes.
fashion designer,
And-
DJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like dealing with these cancers behind the scenes, but still putting out these bits. And it's just mad when you think like, as humans, bruv, what you're capable of and what they've been doing before they're passing. But listen, respect to them.
Honestly,
Rest
man.
in peace to them. And
Honestly,
you know what I
rest
mean?
in
Prayers
peace,
up to
rest
their
in
families.
power. But let's get into the show. Hold tight the 3-point collectors. There's none in the room, but wherever you are, hold tight you. Hold tight the participants. We've got a new one this week. Hold tight the non-participants. You know that one there, man. They don't want to play because he's snow.
Hey,
But
listen.
we'll get into that.
Sean Dyche.
Hold tight
Warrior.
the top of the tables. Hold tight, the people coming up from bad results. Hold tight the caretaker managers. Hold tight the teams making acquisitions and everything.
Some individual big weeks this week as well.
Yeah, some really good big weeks. If you want to kind of get into the nitty gritty of like Ralf Rangnick and everything, go and check out Proof in the Puds. We might touch on it slightly, but
Yeah.
if you want the United perspective, go and check that out. But let's start with the game. For Chelsea, that's 2 draws in the bounce, isn't it? We had Burnley. Sorry, no. We had in recent sort of facility. Yeah, 2 out of 3. Burnley draw, this draw. I'll be honest with this game.
make of
It
this
was one
one?
of those. Huh?
What'd you make of this one?
With this one, yeah, it was like. Obviously, you go into it thinking, no, we should pummel them. We should beat them. Like, yeah, it's United. It's a big game.
When you
They've
see
got
their
some
lineup
manager.
as well, what's going through your head?
When I saw their lineup, I understood it. I'll be honest, I understood it. People would be like, oh, he dropped Ronaldo. To be fair, let me be so real. I understood it, but part of me was like, and I explained, because the whole thing about playing Sancho and Rashford and sort of having that sort of, you know, pressing, I understood. Sancho played with Haaland sometimes like that, you know, you wouldn't really get to your opponents. What I then didn't understand was when they were being so defensive, the three defensive midfielders and everything, it's like, okay, if you're playing for this one opportunity, you don't have Mr. One Opportunity Man on the pitch. And that's where I was conflicted. But again, I thought they were just trying to hedge their bets and see what works best. Their goal, however, like credit where credit's due.
But when you see that kind of setup before the game, you think, like, from a Chelsea perspective, you're thinking, you know what, at home, these men are just setting up to just clearly sit back. Even their number 9s.
I'm thinking we need to take our chances, because if you think about it, if you've got 3 holding midfielders, and a back 4, at times they were playing 6 at the back. Bro. And the thing is, I'm not against that, because I've seen Chelsea do that. Do you get where I'm coming from? I'm never going to be against any team doing what they need to do to get a result. I'm not one of these men. Don't get me wrong, it's nice place, nice football, but you got to do what you got to do in it.
Yeah.
So I did look at it and think, okay, we've got to take our chances. And then that's why it's sort of like more resounding when Hudson-Odoi goes through, De Gea saves it. You've got to bury that. Timo Werner gets chances.
It was 1.5 term.
Yeah, 1.5 term that. Timo Werner, it's kind of like the issues we had of old. You saw it in this game where you have to be ruthless, especially when you're playing a quote-unquote big opponent. You have to take chances, because when you're playing against 6, 7, 8 defenders, you might not get that chance again. So that's what I was thinking with that. Where I have to give credit is, I'm not giving him like resounding credit, all this type of stuff, but I saw it and I acknowledged it. The playing the 2, just changing it a little bit. The whole thing about, you know, we're going to try and press. The goal was a Jorginho mistake, but you could see as soon as the ball was in the sky, their man were running at him. They were like, listen, we know that if he moves the ball quick and everything, but he's the one that if he does something a bit slow, we can get into him. They were sprinting. The bad touch happens, he's never recovering. They get their goal. Mistake, yes, but they capitalized. If that was Man United of the last few games where the intensity and stuff not been there, I don't think we would have seen them running at that pace to the last man. So I respect it. The comments,
that was just kind of an off the cuff one. What I would give more United credit for, I think, was even the setup. People might not look at it as like a character masterclass because it's one game or whatever, but to go man to man against Chelsea, I think is a smart idea for a team that's been struggling to create all season. We've been saying now they got Chilwell out, so that's one of their kind of flank options. If you like, Alonso comes in, but
he wasn't up.
Chilwell's on fire, type of thing. So that nullified kind of, it was like, all right, cool. You lot have been struggling to create, come at your best, create. And you said they've got 6 at the back sometimes. But for me, I felt like at times Chelsea was almost like they were playing with their food. Like, you know, that United's there for the taking. And I felt like you said there was half chances, but the Loftus-Cheek header at the end, even the Rudiger last minute chance where you just think, brother, he can't sleep well tonight after missing a chance like that. And I don't know, I just thought it was like a moment missed. But United, kind of the situation they're in now.
They did what they had to do, man.
Listen, new manager coming in as well. You look at I think their next 7 games, someone sent into the GC. Bruv, if you're a new manager walking into this is the dream scenario, what you want. Let me see it.
You should new manager bounce.
What did you say? New manager bounce.
You should new manager
Look at it.
bounce.
So they got Arsenal next, which I think is going to be a 6-pointer, in all honesty, because now they got this draw, but they're still a little bit off the kind of top 4 race.
They need to pick up momentum,
Arsenal, Palace, Norwich, Brentford, Brighton, Newcastle, Burnley.
You win those games, top 4 seems very comfortable again.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Momentum. So when does that take them? Does that take them into December or into January?
I think that's December's fixture list.
Wait, listen, you go into a new year. You go into New Year thinking, you know what, we did it at the right time, we're looking great. So, I mean, this is a nice sort of start of that. I mean, the Valencia game, you know, they won. The 2 games where you're sort of like in that limbo, they've managed to get results, which is fair play to them. A lot of their fans are still going to be angst and talk about loads of different things, which is normal when you're going through this. And we can talk briefly on like the Ralf Rangnick stuff because we've mentioned it. But I think the most important thing for them is they will be happy with the result. We will be pissed off with the result.
That's what I was going to say. Do you feel like it's a missed opportunity then?
100%, man. I mean, if you look at it, City are doing the City thing where they sort of like,
they're finding gear now.
They're finding gear and it's like, you know, I think it was 2-1 today, right? It was like, okay, you know what? They did what needed to do.
They were comfortable for it.
We're only a point ahead of them now. We're a point ahead of them now because, a point ahead of City. Because, you know, we've had the 2 draws in the last sort of 3 games. So that sort of 4 to 6 point buffer we had has reduced. You look at it, we're going into December where we're playing Club World Cup, I believe, right? So we're gonna have more fixtures and everything. Well, it's only a week, but still the traveling and everything like that. You look at the whole thing. I know we've got a squad depth, but you've not got your Kovacic, you've not your Chilwell and everything. slowly these things incrementally start building up. And
Lukaku coming back though.
Lukaku coming back is great. Lukaku and Werner coming back is great, but again, game time to get back to the speed where you need to be in it. So it's like you've got to take chances. And you know what? Fair play to Tuchel. What he said was really cool. Like, you know what? Some of these games, you know what? You miss out the chance, but you have to steal those points back. And that's the mentality I like. I like the fact that those boys in the change room are talking about, we're trying to go and win the league. We want to go and win the league. You know what? We didn't like the fact that this game going like this, but we're going to bounce back. And it's like, you can't win every game.
Yeah.
You can't win every game, but you can be upset that you didn't take what you needed to from this game. And like you said, the Rudiger chance is like, I can't be angry at him because it's Rudiger, but it's like, we can bury that.
He was good throughout the game as well.
Yeah. Even remember the long range shot.
Chance when it falls, so you're thinking, yo, this is
cash money,
naming lights, and he's decent with his head as well. And even Loftus-Cheek, I thought when you're coming off the shoulders, I'm like, brother, I know you want to protect the waves and listen, do-rag slap that on after the game, but
I hear you.
Connect to that proper.
It's one of those games where it's. But
December will be an interesting month because, as we said, United's fixture list, your fixture list as well. City, Liverpool hitting form, and you played them actually January as well. The first 2 games is actually, I'm just looking at just now, Chelsea v Liverpool, and then you've got City away.
Boy, listen.
So December could set it nicely for like a second half of the season.
In a way,
title race, the top 4 race.
In a way, it's like if you come back and it's like, okay, let's hit the ground running. You do one of those 2 fixtures, you then build up this buffer again.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's cool. It's one of those things where the season, you know, to a title campaign is not decided in December.
You lot got lucky with that penalty shout as well, by the way.
I don't think that was a penalty. I don't think we got lucky.
Smart from Thiago Silva, but
no, it's a pen. If for me, I can't remember. It was 10.
You think it was a pen?
Yeah, you can't. He's gone through the back of him. You can't. Man, swing the leg.
He had eyes on the ball and tried to go for the ball.
Nah, when you do
Thiago Silva was just smart to kind of put his leg in the way and be like, "Hey, let me do the theatrics with it."
You can't just swing in the penalty box. But for me, it's like the game came down to Jorginho mistake,
Ballon d'Or,
Wan-Bissaka mistake, and then these 2 things. Check it out. Really good decision making and Fred decision making.
Hey,
that's what the game came down to.
Fred chance at
mistake and decision making.
He tried to go for a chip, bro. I saw Lingard. I'm thinking, yo,
and he performed well. You know, the last 2 games. What I wanted to say actually, I was having this conversation with, and we can probably touch it because we watch United enough. With sort of a new manager coming in, who do we think with? And we can touch on Rangnick now. Actually, who do we think the winners and losers in the United squad are going to be? Because for me,
Bruno might be a big loser.
I
think he keeps performing the way he did. This is another big game where he's gone missing again. I felt poor performance today again. Well. Yeah, captain's armband as well. Playing in a false 9, you could say or whatever, but he's pretty much been playing that role even when you play him in midfield. So it's like, all right, cool. Here's the shackles off now.
Yeah,
show us what you can do. Nothing, bro. And Rangnick, I don't think is gonna want this.
No passengers in it.
Passengers, inefficiency, fucking up the system, making it all about you. No, we can't tolerate this. So he's going to be one, I think, from going such a big role over the last 18 months to, I don't know how it's going to look for him. And I said, listen, if United want to get rid of him, where he should have come originally, you're more than welcome. We're starving in our midfield.
A man wants Ndom, Bruno,
hey,
Højbjerg.
Oh! Hey, that's
skip what?
Creativity,
Diamond,
creativity, energy, and the academy product. Oh, hey, give me that.
And then what? Harry Kane and what? And Lucas Moura. Oh no, Son. Yeah,
I think a lot of the work merchants who have been kind of soldiers under Oli will be, I think, under trouble under Rangnick.
But do you know why I'm conflicted there though? Because, like, someone like Scott McTominay, right?
He could survive.
He could survive because, you know, the press and everything. And it's like, I can coach you to press and then just recycle the ball. Do you know where I'm coming from? I think the conversation around Ronaldo is very interesting about whether he survives and everything. I think ultimately it's a very, very hard one to tell because the way that I saw sort of Sancho being used as a
big week for today. Sancho as well.
Yeah,
man.
2 and 2.
2 and 2.
Listen, all the memes, they're starting to disappear. You get me? He's doing what he's doing. But I could see him getting deployed like that if they're not using width. I could see, you know, I think that Sancho is going to be definitely a very big winner in this. I think if anyone, I think he's a big winner. I think
Martial, you think there's a new lease of life there?
I don't think Martial's winning this, you know. I don't think Martial's winning. I think Greenwood. I think Greenwood, when he comes back from COVID and everything, young, you know, energy.
Fred, what you say?
I think Fred, for me, Fred is a winner.
If he can adapt his game.
It's not about adapting his game though.
If he can become more like the Brazilian Fred, Let the shackles off him and let him stop being just this double pivot six that he just... Because I think he can be more than that. He showed it at Shakhtar. He shows it at Brazil. At United, there just seems to be this kind of like almost...
Bozo gene kick.
But it's like, are you actually utilising him properly?
Do you know what it is for me for Fred? Yeah, I think it's a classic case of when I think to Chelsea and I think to... And I'm not comparing the players' ability or playing styles in any way, shape or form. It's sort of the perception of how one manager would have looked at Jorginho to another, or how one manager looked at like Conte to someone else. The way you're sort of deployed in the team and how a manager looks after your weaknesses and your strengths can determine how you're perceived by fans and how you operate. In the last 2 games, I've seen Fred do really well at pressing and then causing something else to happen. And that can be very pivotal. If you look at that chance the chance for the Ronaldo goal during the week, smart pressing, interception, goal.
He can be like the Conrad Lima in their team type of, press from midfield. Hey, listen, I don't know about
come on, literally. You know where your role is? It's like your role is to sort of, N'Golo Kante's role is to sniff danger and thing, but Fred's role is almost like,
it's like we've said, the
you
box
intercept,
destroyer.
You intercept, and then we can break away. Because that chance where he tried to dink it, yes, it was a bad pass by Mendy, but he was in the half space where if that pass is wrong, you're there.
Yeah.
Whereas typically where it was old United, he would have been in the halfway line holding McTominay's hand.
100%.
So I think there's a role for him.
Yeah.
I think there's a role for him. Don't get me wrong. The Bozo gene would have to be sort of like...
What did you make of the Chelsea Academy boys today? Callum, Ruben and...
Good question.
Chalobah
Hudson
as well.
Odoi for me...
I thought it was meant to be like a big occasion for them to start in a big game like this as well. We've been giving them praise over the last couple of weeks.
It shows you that there's levels that have to be gone to, because ultimately it's good to perform and everything. And you don't write people off because of one game, but the big games are where it matters. And we can start with Hudson Odoi. He did well with Spurs and everything. That chance, he's not going to, like you said, not sleeping well tonight. He knows that he should have buried that. And he knows it's a part of his game where if he wants to go to the next heights, you have to bury those.
Bro, you have to be active the whole 90 minutes. I felt like the first half, he was busy and getting him half chances. But then second half, he just kind of faded away. And I was like, this is where you kind of stretch the game. This is where you kind of either drop deeper, just try get involved.
I think for him, I'll be honest, the reason why I find it,
I think
maybe
the players
difficult.
in those roles have struggled in your team anyway.
The one they've struggled in the team, and then ultimately, because of our emphasis on using our win-backs and everything, he's then probably thinking, at least if I've got Chilwell, someone's doing this, I don't even know where Alonso is, and then if I'm trying to switch the other side, Reece James is killing it, so I can't go in them half spaces. It makes it very sort of convoluted sometimes, and especially when you're playing against 6 defenders, and then there's bare man there. Everyone's got to be moving, and then the vocal point you're looking for in Timo Werner wasn't really operating in the way he usually was. What I found interesting, someone said it to me and I thought, it's not too much of it, but it actually did happen. Them man weren't looking for Timo in the cutbacks.
Nah.
Promise you they weren't looking for it.
Did you not see the one where he even tried to snatch it off next man? He was like, listen, I'm getting mine today.
They weren't looking for it. To me. And again, that goes to tell you a lot. But
what about Loftus-Cheek? You love him running prop?
Loftus-Cheek today, the performance today, Roy Keane...
I am playing me.
Roy Keane had a little like segment before the game, and he was basically saying that, you know how his delivery has always comes against harsh. He was saying that, listen, he's 25, listen, he's got a kick on and everything. And that's very similar if you think about it. What I said at the beginning of the season, I said he has to make it work this season.
Yeah.
And I don't think Roy Keane was wrong in what he said. All he was trying to say, again, which is not him being harsh, is that you're 25, to be in this team, you have to be performing. Yes, you've had your injuries and everything, but it comes a time where you have to make it right. That sounds harsh, but it's the reality of football.
In the team anymore, bro.
It's the reality of football. You have to make it happen. And the last few weeks, he's been doing really well. Correct. What happened today was everything that he's praised for at times comes back to bite him. And for me, it's the thing that him and Pogba do where it's like the lack of urgency or your persona on the ball. It slows things down. Against a team where you're playing against 3 holding midfielders and 6 defenders.
There was too many times
you need to pop it. It's pop campaign.
Long,
pop. There's a few times where he got caught in possession because he was trying to the back heel on something. And it's like, I get it. When it comes off, it looks great. But sometimes your greatest asset as a footballer, for me anyways, when you can do the simple things really good, and which is pop, keep it moving and everything. And I think for me today, him not having that urgency or that urge to kind of move things quickly and everything, it killed us a bit. Like, don't get me wrong, when he surges with the ball, it's great, but I wasn't even seeing that. I was seeing him trying to get out of situations, and then you've got Matic, who, you know, knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
McTominay, who's going to be aggressive, and then a regenerated Fred that knows how to press. You got 3 men at that trying to smoke you out of the park.
You can't dilly-dally with the ball in and around that. But Chalobah, I would say, for me, is impressing me. I'll be honest with you. I think he's taken very naturally to this team,
right side,
and way better than I thought he would. And I remember asking you start of the season, would you rather have signed Conte for 80 million or give Chalobah the chance? And you was like, yo, maybe give him the chance, see what he can kind of... Bruv, I got to say I'm impressed. I'm not going to say England shouts or anything like that, but
It's
steady progression is what you want. And when you come into a big game like this is the next step as well. You've done it, Champions League now. You've shown in a couple of cup games. Cool. In a game like this, I thought you handled it well, bruv. There wasn't a lot to kind of deal with, but what he needed to do, he needed to.
But you see what you said there, yeah? Steady progression. For me, it's everything. Because I feel like a lot of the times, yeah, some people are too quick to try and put players on the pedestal and try and kill them. I'll give you an example. I'll come back to Chelsea, but Martinelli scored a great goal. But in fans' usual thing, yeah, Martinelli's scoring, Greenwood, where are you? Anything? It's like, no, just allow players to...
Just quickly, do you know what I love about Chalobah as well?
Yeah.
Both goals, when he scored, it seems like he appreciates being there every moment.
It means a lot, bro.
Like, it means the world to him to just play every single minute. And I'm just like, bro, it's just a feel-good story, I can't lie.
No, but bro,
even though I'm up, I can't lie. It's like,
hey, like this, yeah,
this is nice.
Your brother didn't make the grade. You are older than Mason Mount and them, man.
Yeah.
You've been on loan to France and the Championship. So you've done the nitty-gritty and you've done the sort of, okay, a bit of je ne sais quoi and all that type of things. I had to bring it back. And it's like, what do I have to do to prove myself? You get this one opportunity where you happen to be around.
Yeah.
Okay, come and join us. And then you're in the squad. And it's like, think about it like this.
Score on the debut?
Because he's...
Did he
No,
score?
it wasn't debut. He scored like further down the line. But think about...
Was it Premier League debut scored, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, Premier League
Screamer,
debut, yeah. But you said debut, that's what I was throwing. But you look at it like this, right? Look at the players who he's keeping out the team. The Danish Maldini, they call him. And as per Greta, that's what they're trying to call him.
No. I leave that Chelsea prop on Twitter.
That's not me slighting on either of them. They've been performing well. A lot of people's talking as benefit.
One thing that is massive within that, though, with the players that you're saying playing around him, Thiago Silva next to him.
100%.
Massive having that experience, that kind of composure, that leadership. And someone who's still a dog as well. Because, you know, a lot of men, when they get old, they want to protect themselves. Let the young gens run. I'm a dog,
He's still
bro.
about it.
So Thiago Silva.
That's another segue. It's not a segue here, but we were talking about what happened to the favela babies, what happened to the favela ballers and everything. I see three Brazilians trying to move to play for Italy. I was like, what happened to our favela babies? Thiago Silva is still repping. That's a man that came from nothing. He didn't have no privilege growing up. You can tell that he's got it in him. But with Chelsea, I think that, you know, it is what it is. I think we bounce back, we keep moving, and
before we move on as well, I was going to say just on Sancho. Chelsea talk that?
I was going to say, if you look, for me, what's interesting is the contrast between the 4-0 and this game. It's like, we know the heights we need to be at.
That midweek result was massive as well. Let's not brush that under the carpet. Juve 4-0, even though Juve,
they've not been great this year.
Duds as well, but we'll get into them. But I thought that was a big result.
Yeah.
You lot,
Statement.
That's it.
And it's like,
words out my mouth, bro.
Just get back to that. Get back to performing like that. And with the forwards coming back in and everything, the developing can now resume. We need to figure out how we're going to play.
Lukaku's back now. I want to see this
development. We've got to see.
I want to see him back in the goals now, bro.
Yeah, let's talk about Sancho.
Sancho, yeah, I was going to say, do we finally have liftoff? The two performances, both, I thought they were good, even off the ball and on the ball. I thought he was offering something, looking a little bit more like himself. Rangnick coming in now, I imagine he'll unleash the shackles a little bit more off him. I think Wan-Bissaka could be one loser as well, actually, that we didn't touch on. But
who they?
I don't know. They'll try and get someone else in that right back position. I'm not even sure about Dalot, bruv.
They'll probably try and buy someone.
Yeah, they need to solve that right back position, but that will be important.
Where does Riddle
Baku
play? Does he play right back?
Who?
Riddle Baku, Wolfsburg under 21s.
I've heard this name.
He's a good player, but I can't remember if he plays right back. I think he plays right back. That would be a sick signing. Like, he's cold, but the reason why, do you know what I feel for Sancho? Yeah. Because when people talk about him, like in commentary today, they're like, this is a player that scored 50 goals for Borussia Dortmund, all this, that. Don't get me wrong. He can bring goal contributions, yeah. But I feel like Sancho's one of those players that shouldn't be that's not what you hail him on. Do you get where I'm coming from? He's like a Rashford for me. Like, if I look at Rashford, yeah, go and get me goals and everything. When I look at Sancho's someone that's kind of creative and doing that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But because you pay so much for that sort of player, it's like, I need to see stuff on the ground. And don't get me wrong, he was going through a brazy sprout where he had to put numbers on. He's got the 2-2 now. The confidence is there. You saw how much it meant to him to score with the command and everything. And that was a very hard goal to take as well, by the way. I know people say, oh yeah, I do it on FIFA all the time.
Yeah.
Fam, you know when it's just you and your thoughts and you have to make a decision.
Square it there. Bro,
you have to make a decision.
midweek.
Bro.
Come on.
Bro.
Come on. Like, we've seen them miss, bro, literally.
Bro, we've seen those misses. So to sort of, and an in from goalkeeper as well, to sort of stifle Mendy and then put it away, got to give him credit.
Yeah.
So I think we have lift off now. I would just be very, very like hasty for United fans to think that, okay, yeah, Sancho's going to get
back.
20 goals,
Yeah.
15 assists. Like,
But it's progress.
it's progress, but just don't start thinking like he's not. Yeah, he got numbers in Germany, but he's a creative. So, but boy, listen, there's something we need to touch on though, because obviously your team didn't play this week, innit? Which is, it's fair. You know what?
I thought I got away scot-free.
Burnley tried to do. Might be my duds of the week, because they tried to do shit house and be like, you know what? It's Burnley,
Tough guy.
It's cold, tough guy. But now you have fixture pile up. So that's on you. But you guys didn't play, so we have to go to your nearest fixture. And production, you're gonna have to remind me. But did these man? What was the score of that game during the midweek for Spurs?
2-1, mate.
2-1. You man lost to NS 10v10. You man lost to
Bruv.
No Signal.
It was a club that was formed less than 10 years ago, bruv. Like, it's just another European shambles, bruv. And the thing is, it's...
You man are going through though,
What
right?
can I say now that I haven't said about this team already, bruv?
Only English team to not be top of
To not be top of their group in Europe, and we're in the worst competition, bruv.
Wow.
It's actually embarrassing. And the thing is,
what?
And
That's brazy. That's a
It's
mistake.
the facts of the matter, bro. It's literally, I love what Conte was saying after the game, where he was saying the squad quality is not good enough, and this is going to take time. Two things that, how many times have I said on this pod for the last, 2.5 years now we've been doing this? I've been saying the same thing, and now Conte is taking him, he said, 3 weeks to realise that. Brother, it should have took him 3 days, if anything. You can see Davinson Sanchez, time and time again, 2 goals where he got spun out of his boots in the exact manner. First half, second half. You learn nothing. Season after season doing the same errors, trusting the same guys. I've
got a question for you, yeah? It's a slightly sort of off topic, but it's related. Davinson Sanchez, yeah? How much you bought him for? 34 million, right?
43.
43. In the
42 or something like that. Yeah.
In the we made a mistake rankings, yeah. Where does that rank? Knowing that you could have got
I've said the
that you could have
biggest
got Dele.
flop in Spurs history.
No, but where does that rank? Knowing that you could have got Dele.
Bro, I've said it's the biggest duddery ever. Now, De Ligt, I don't think would have been dumb enough to move to Spurs. That's the thing.
That's the difference.
He knew from young that he was destined, for the top.
big
He was
things.
like, let me hold out another year at Ajax.
I
can go get myself Juve. And mind you, he's been getting cooked at the Atlanta game. We saw that on the weekend as well, but we'll discuss that another day. Listen, the Euros as well, I ain't forgot De Ligt. I'm watching you closely. But
Oh man.
I would have much rather that, and I would have happily paid 70 million or whatever. But then for you to go, Davinson Sanchez at the time as well, Europa League coming off the final. I thought, yo, this kid, he's got all the tools, similar like Eric Bailly, who I thought played well today as well. But you think he's got all the defensive tools to be a top centre back, but this is what lets you down, bro. And that and consistency. If you don't have those two, the mental, you're finished, bro. And he's now been here 3 years, bro. We see the same mistakes. And I'll be honest, you see, like Chalobah, we were saying, having a experienced quality partner next to you helps you. He hasn't had that. You can say maybe a Alderweireld and Vertonghen on the decline, but I don't know. He hasn't had someone to hold his hand properly. But bro, there's a time and a place where you've got to stand up and be count. Take ownership, take accountability.
That's a lovely
and
segue
he lets
though,
him down.
because
he lets himself down time and time again.
In Chelsea's let me put it this. Chelsea United played today, right? In the United ranks, you've got Ronaldo, that's your senior pro, innit? Ronaldo, that's like your guy. And they kind of brought him in to sort of bring that. They always talk about that. With Chelsea, we have Thiago Silva.
Spurs don't have that.
We've got Azpilicueta. I would say Conte can put into that sort of realm now. He's seen a lot of
quiet
football.
role model.
Huh?
The quiet role model.
Yeah, he's seen a lot of football. Spurs,
Lloris.
You've got Lloris, but even when I think about like Harry Kane's the oldest statesman now, but even when he was like coming through and anything, did he really have anyone that little broed him in and everything?
No. He came in back off his loans, and it was a shit show because it was the Sherwood kind of period where everything was in transition. He turned out to be kind of the bright light under Poch, and it was like him and Poch were kind of like the defining of a new era. It was like, all right, the young bucks are playing. Walker, Rose, all of them coming through kind of at the same time.
So when we talk about Spurs mentality issues and everything, it's because you man don't really have
winners and leaders like that, bro. We don't have that, and that's why when Jose came in, I was like, Jose way, he can show us the way, kind of thing. And it's like, no, a manager can only do so much, and he can work with scrubs. You can try and improve him. You can give him loan signings and a freebies. Bro, Jose said, I need top quality. You said no. Before we got to give him money. Now you've brought Conte in. He's told you the same thing the previous 3 managers have told you. Don't fuck this one up now. This is a world-class manager in his prime now. Go and sort him out a proper team. This team is needed for a long time freshening up. Whether it's midfield, whether it's defense, whether it's even replacements for Kane and Lloris that we've been talking about for years now. Line these things up. It's been too long. And how many... We got beaten last season by Zagreb. Let's not forget that in jail. NSG Mora have beaten us this season. Like, how many of these Genk, I remember a few years ago. Like, we dumped on Bayern Munich. Let's not forget that shit show when we were in the Champions League. Like, getting killed. You got all the way to a fairy tale Champions League final. 2 minutes in handball. So it's like, how many of these European disasters are you going to have?
Sort of way we describe stuff now. Because you know, my man got bagged. So you can't...
So
we can't say too much.
But you get what I'm saying. Like, there's only so many times before you can actually look at the individuals who are out on the pitch not performing and say, listen, we got Dele Alli. I'm not even saying anything. Like, there's certain individuals you just know have to leave the club. There's a good 7 or 8 players. And Conte, I'm just glad you're fully aware. I just hope this ball does the right thing come January. It can't come soon enough, bro.
Can I ask you a question?
Go for it.
What do you think happened to Dele Alli?
Do you know what I believe? Christian Eriksen left. A loss of form and over complacency in your own ability, where you're thinking, I'm actually the guy, when really and truly you had a system that was fitting you. You had a player that was serving everything to you on a play. And you had a manager fully backing you. He lost all 3 of those things. Now it's down to you as an individual to get the best out of yourself. I don't think he has that mental level to push himself to the top. I remember maybe 3 years ago, bro, people were genuinely saying he's the second coming of Lampard. Them late runs in the box, the goals he's putting up. Imagine what he's doing now. Imagine what he can do with Lampard's work rate. Lampard had that mentality, that mindset to say, I just need to be consistent season after season. Dele Alli, whether it's injuries, change of managers, you can say. He's had how many changes of position? He's played the number 10, left wing, 8 box-to-box midfielder. 4 different managers have said, you're no use to us. So clearly he has to look at himself and say, do you know what? I need a fresh start away from this club. And that's what he needs, in all honesty.
I agree with you, but I think there's some additional points. And for me, you have to kind of go back to the root. So Dele Alli made his name as a 16-year-old playing for MK Dons in centre mid. And he was bossing it. No, that's the reality. He was bossing it. That's the reality. But when you break down what happened, right? His ability was surpassed the level of the people he was playing with. He was doing well. At the age of 16, you're just playing for it, right? You're playing senior football and everything. He got to Spurs, you get to Spurs and you find yourself in this sort of the role that we always talk about in football is disappearing, right? We've always spoken about it. We said that the last remontadas is what? Thomas Muller and them, man. It's a role that's disappearing. And even when he was think about it, Thomas Muller had to start playing wide. Remember when he played wide, got 17 assists because that role in football is disappearing. When Dele Alli was doing well and he was a young player with seasons, everything was great. But what we always said was, can he ever get a move to a bigger move? And if he does, who is going to accommodate to play a system for him? That was OG stoppage time conversations.
We talk about that.
OG stoppage time conversations.
Can Dele Alli become a number 8? And can he develop as an overall player rather than just a final third player?
Yeah, because what we said was, not a Real Madrid don't play that. Barcelona don't play that. You have to be of an insane quality to go to a team and say, we're going to accommodate for you. So he had that issue, and ultimately, when you're playing through, he never learned how to play centre mid at top level. When he played at a young level, don't get me wrong, his ability was at level that he could do it. Never learned to play that, and that's why when we see him there, we're like, he can't play centre mid. So you can't play centre mid. The role that you can play doesn't really exist anymore. You now have Harry Kane that drops into the space that you want to play into. It's a kamikaze, and it's like now, with injuries and everything going on, you kind of become a lost man. And again, I don't want to compare it to Loftus-Cheek, because with his one, it was injuries and everything. But here comes a situation where it's like, you have to make it work. If not, something has to change drastically.
Yeah.
Loftus-Cheek's in a situation now where he's 25, he's had a few good games at Chelsea. This season for him is make or break. With Dele Alli, I don't even know how that plays out with him at Spurs because he's not really playing.
Bro, there is no. You've had the fresh start on the Nuno way. He tried to reinvent you. Like,
do you get what I'm coming? I'm not trying to compare those players, but in terms of like, both of them have a year where it's like, I have to make it work.
He's 24, 25 as well.
Yeah,
so
100%.
I'm like, you haven't been in and around the England squad
for donkeys
of years now. Since what?
Madison's getting it cooking up again at Leicester, you know, so he's going to go up the pecking line.
So it's like
Smith-Rowe. Remember we had that conversation. All the other names I mentioned.
He's so far down the pecking order, and I remember going back to them times when we initially
can't even play for Nigeria.
I used to say like, I think he can develop into that because from what I've seen of what he can do so far, I think if he applies that same method to midfield, he can grow into that. That's the part where he hasn't adapted, and I remember thinking, yo, at some point he's got to adapt, or the game is going to leave him behind. And now he's at the stage where the game's left him behind. You're not really a left winger. You're not really a number 10. You're not really a number 8. So you're kind of in the middle of nothing player. Like, what's a standout trait? Like, we were sat here saying, Saka, what's his standout? What's Dele Alli's standout trait? The one thing that you can say, that's what he's good at. It's not finishing. It's not heading. It's not passing. For me, it used to be sort of... It's not movement.
He used to find pockets.
Because it used to be movement.
Yeah,
but it's not even that anymore. An engine? No.
Do you know he's reminding me of a little bit? Again, you people might not agree, but
so it's like,
would you say that? How old is Coutinho? Coutinho's what, 29, isn't it?
Yeah.
Would you say that where Coutinho ended up is kind of where Dele Alli's going?
Because Coutinho, I still feel like has that little. He scored last week as well, didn't
he?
No,
he scored a penalty for Barcelona.
But for me, I still feel like Coutinho in the right circumstances can produce something. Even when he went on loan to Bayern, I was just like, yo, he can still produce.
That's what I'm saying. He had to go on the move.
100%. But he was another one that was a 10 that kind of had to go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So do you think it's a similar thing where Dele Alli has to go somewhere where someone can afford him time on opportunity to be what 100%. He needs to
and
be?
And it has to be like take a step back. I don't know whether it's an Everton. I've said not even a West Ham. West Ham is a step up at this point, but I don't know where it is. I would even say maybe even leave England. Just get your head away from kind of British press.
I mean,
under the limelights. Go work away in Italy. Go work away at Fiorentina or something like that. Somewhere like that. Just go put the work in. Mönchengladbach for 2 years. You know what I mean? Go look at Reece Oxford. What he's doing at Augsburg.
It took a while though. It took a while, but he's back where he needs to be.
Fruitions are coming true. Dele Alli comes back to England at 27, 28. Little bulked up, you know what I mean? Little neck tattoo, firing on all cylinders. I'm like, hey, get back in England team.
Oh my gosh.
But right now, he's so far from that, and we're so far from like, I remember last week we were saying, oh, Conte comes in, do you lot become a top 4 team? You see exactly why I was saying, hell no. Because we've got so much work to do from a squad aspect, from him implementing his system, Kane coming anywhere near back to form. Like, there's so many spinning wheels that need to be fixed, brother. It's a long road back for Spurs.
What I wanted to ask you, basically, because if we take it back a few weeks ago, the sort of result meant you guys got Conte, and then now down the line they've got Rangnick. We've spoken a lot online and everything, but it'll be good to have that conversation here. In terms of first question is, and production, you can chime in here as well. Based on what Man United, the options Man United had on the table, what do you think would have been more beneficial? The Conte, when it was there, because that's one of the big 6 managers, or this Rangnick sort of end of the season interim, then 2-year sort of option?
The Conte, hands down. The Conte situation would have been perfect for United. And I even think Conte now is a little bit looking at it like, fuck, maybe I'll jump the gun taking this Spurs job, you know?
No, talk to me.
Like 3 weeks after, you're already talking about, because I know from the outside looking in, maybe some managers look at Spurs and they're like, they got Kane, they got Son, I could do something with that, you know what I mean? He's coming and seen, this is a real, like, I need to rip the roots out kind of job. So looking at United, I think he's probably got better pieces. He's got more funds available. He's got more ready squad to challenge for things. He's in the Champions League.
But I mean, more so
and then also for United, I think it's the ready-made product in Antonio Conte, one of the best managers out there. Come and get him. And now you've made the best of a bad situation, is how I see it. You've kind of lost that Conte race and you're like, you know what? This is kind of what we're going to do. And it leaves us open to, in the summer, come back.
I completely disagree with you, because I feel like if Conte went to Manchester United, he would have been bogged down with this United way nonsense.
No.
And the tradition. No, it's not him. It's their fans, it's their pundits on TV. They're so obsessed with the United way, and he's nowhere near the United way. And that's where I think he would have just end up keep clashing. And where is Ollie would have those games where they might draw 1-1 and play the erratic, but the pundits would give him a bye because it's the United way. He played the young players.
Do you know what?
It was the way he played. If Conte gets a 1-1 played his kind of way, they would be, this is why he doesn't suit Man United. It's not the culture.
Here's the thing though. I would agree, but I think the United fans and even some of those pundits are so sick of this United way and United DNA, and Ollie saying it so many times and not playing like it, not actually looking like the DNA he's claiming, that they're just sick of these buzzwords at this point. Like, they're sick of these little, I don't even know what. They're this little kind of sign language. I hate. I'm sure they're sick of it. So if Conte coming in now and says, scrap all of that United way stuff, we're doing it exactly my way, similar to like when he came into Chelsea and said, all right, you had 2 spells of Jose. I know this is Jose club, but I'm ripping everything up. We're going 3 at the back. We're doing this, boom. And as long as it's producing results, which I guarantee you Conte would be able to get results quicker out of that United team than this Spurs team, I think that United fans would have just been like, all right, cool, we're with it.
You raise a good point there, because when Conte came in, not that he tried the way that was already there, but it was like, okay, this is what you guys do in England. Okay, cool. After the Arsenal game, he said, see what I'm talking about? What happened afterwards? Was it 15 games unbeaten after that when he went 5 at the back? It was insane. It was like, listen, when did my... But the reason why I don't particularly agree with, well, not that I hear both of your points, but for me, I think Conte comes, this is what happens when I think Conte comes in, Conte does what Conte does. 5 at the back, the pieces not like, cool, Victor Moses regen, I go and get that, I go and get some of these regions and everything. He does what he needs to do for 3 years, and then he leaves. And then United are in a similar situation where they've kind of got high wages and dead wood. I don't know this is going to happen.
You're saying that like it's a guarantee.
No.
I'm just saying he's going to bring Deadwood and wages.
No. I'm just saying that based on from what I've seen, I feel like Conte is going to do what Conte does, right? And Conte, it's 2-3 years, maybe 4. He's going to maximize what he can, bring what he thinks is going to work for, and do how he wants to do it. And then it's okay, it's cool. He might win the Premier Leagues and everything, but after that, you then have to look at where you are. Where I think what might happen, I don't know. Rangnick comes in, right? Cool. What Merson said, it's a really good point, but people are getting into because it's Merson. It's like, he hasn't done it at a big job. He's done it at these small jobs and everything. United's very different, but I know he's going to implement his style of football for 6 months. The first thing, I don't know whether that's the players are going to take to that. That's the first thing I have to say on that, because everyone's going to say, United are going to be pressing machine, T4 footballers come to say anything. I don't know if this team is going to respond to that, because you have to remember, playing pressing football doesn't happen overnight. You got to train whole pre-seasons to be fit like that, Remember, I can't remember what Chelsea was manager that tried to do it, and he was like, listen, we're not at the level where we're fit enough to operate. Klopp said that. Klopp said, listen, the way pre-season is, we can't just come in and start running around like madmen. You have to condition yourself to that. Your players will fall off a cliff. So I don't know what happens then. What I think happens in the 2-year consultancy thing is, like your tweet, talent ID for United in terms of long terms. Where do we want to go? I don't know what he's going to do managerial, but I know that in this 2-year consultancy, he's going to talent ID. Whatever manager he brings in, he's going to have a close relationship where they're building something. Yeah. I don't know if that brings titles, but I know that in 2-3 years,
culture and an ideology,
it will bring something to United, and that's what you have to ask yourself.
Ask United fans, would they prefer a culture
ID or trophies? That's what, and that's
they want to win.
That's the culture clash they have.
They've been starving Champions League for how many years? But they've been starving Premier League how many years?
That's the culture clash.
The great OT is leaking. They want trophies.
But do you understand the conversation I've made?
Yeah, no,
that's the great culture clash to have. Conte would have brought at least a trophy or 2 trophies within 3 years. With this approach they're taking, I don't know if it guarantees a trophy in 3 years.
This thing for me now is a little bit too on the fly for me, and you're making up for kind of missing out on Conte. So now you've got Rangnick in. There's no guarantee that it's going to be Poch or Ten Hag coming in summer. Because for all we know, Ten Hag could walk away, say, I needed a year's break, wait for Pep to leave, go get City's job. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm like, Pochettino might come again. Who knows in the summer? He's saying apparently PSG extended the contract. I didn't extend it. So there could be something there as well, but I don't know. I just think now it's all a little bit uncertainty. And if Rangnick comes in, I don't know if he's going to hit the ground running. As you said, the jobs he's done before, Schalke and kind of RB were his last coaching jobs. Done well there, but it's like, you didn't exactly,
United's a different thing.
Yeah,
Don't
it's
get me
a whole
wrong,
different animal.
Do I expect? Because ultimately, I don't. For someone like that, you can't be like. Do I expect him to coach them or a coach take them? He's one of them footballing minds, so he's going to come and do something.
He'll come and improve things for sure.
Yeah. Do I expect United to be finishing top 4? Yes. How they go about it, again, it's those 7 games are great, but with how he wants to do things and everything, don't be surprised if there's major hiccups in the road. Or there's injuries.
United fans can't complain because this is what they've been crying for. They've been wanting a tactical manager, a manager who knows.
What's Cam calling it? Prime Tifo ball, yeah,
bro. Prime Tifo football. That's
a funny name.
Listen, he's always fucking quoting.
He's good for that. I give him that. He's good for that. Still, Tifo football.
But I just think, United fans have got what they wanted now. They've always wanted their players to have their shackles off. You've now got a pressing manager, an attacking manager, a tactical manager who knows what he's doing, and is also then going to take a backseat role and help you kind of build an ideology and culture at your club. You've got your wish now. Now let's see how it goes. But Liverpool, there was some of the individual comebacks actually I was talking about at the start. Robbo, for example, he come back in the team. I thought he was wicked against Southampton, mind you. So that's why I don't want to go. But Southampton and Porto, 2 kind of teams you expect them to beat, but they dealt with them with ease.
Oxlade-Chamberlain,
Jota, another one as well.
My boy,
that's your dog, obviously. But
7 goals this season.
You look at their next couple of fixtures as well. What is it? Everton, Wolves, Villa. You reckon, what are you saying for top spot at Christmas?
Everton, they'll
still be... there?
What is it? What for the Wolves, you said?
Wolves
is an interesting game. If you bank on if you bank on 2 teams getting clean sheets in the Premier League, it's Chelsea and Wolves typically at the moment.
He's doing his thing. Someone said it last week.
Yeah. They are good. They could get a draw from that.
And then, what did you hear the little AFCON debate as well when he was going back and forth with that journal?
Oh, do you know what it is? You see, do you
know that case? Do you know
little? Do you know that's a case of? Yeah,
I don't like it.
No, it's big up him.
Yeah,
for speaking with his chest, innit? Like, I feel like what happened in that situation. Yeah, for those who don't know, Klopp was talking in the press conference and someone said that there's no international football to March, and then Klopp was like, hey, but listen, there's this little tournament AFCON happening, and he was kind of like, he wasn't calling it little. There's an elephant in the room. Yeah, there's AFCON happening. But do you know what it is? You see Africans, Africans and sarcasm doesn't always go. And think about it, we're proud people. You know what I was gonna say. So you're saying little about Africa. I'm not hearing sarcasm.
Listen, already marginalized. We don't need
exactly.
more.
And for me, I wanted to write a piece about it, but I'm only leaving that. But for me, it goes to this conversation where if you think about African football, Africa's not rated in football. I remember 2014, Nasri came out live and said, listen, if Yaya Toure was African, we would say he's the best player in the world. He
wasn't African.
Yeah. We would say he's the best player in the world. He would win all of the awards and everything. But because he's African, he doesn't get that respect. You look at the way players are. Don't get me wrong. Pace and power is a real thing. But you see a player, literally, none of his 10 attributes will be spoken about. It's like, okay, let's give him this.
He's got great strength.
Yeah. And it's like, and then you look at how they talk about African football. Oh yeah, the pictures are bad. This and that. African football is always painted with a light. So when you hear little, you're gonna be on the defense. So I don't blame him for what he did, bruv.
Should have just said sorry, Cooktown. That's all. I think that's all the journalist wanted, really and truly. He just wanted an apology, and Klopp was like, "I don't like the way you brought this up, so I'm not giving you one. But I will acknowledge I shouldn't have said that." It was a funny, weird little moment.
It went a bit left, but
Thiago's another one as well this week.
2 goals in 2 games.
The Champions League goal. Stupendous technique,
bro. It didn't touch the ground. What do you mean daisy cutter?
No, grass cutter, blade cutter.
Oh yeah,
you know the lawnmower.
Man said he manscaped it.
The lawnmower 3000, bro.
He manscaped it.
Bro, real talk. Grab it, man. Where is it?
He manscaped it.
Is it the
man said he went. Man said he manscaped. Oh. Man said he
Thiago right there.
Man said he manscaped it. That's too funny, man. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh, man collapsed the whole thing. But but in terms of like, we can go to.
But I remember saying like last week, if he can stay fit this season, he can be a wrinkle. And I saw there was a stat. Him, Hendo, and Fabinho have only played together three times since he signed, bruv. Yeah. I was like, yo, that's actually like their starting 3 that they would probably choose week in, week out, and they haven't had them.
You're not giving Oxlade any credit?
Huh?
You're not giving Oxlade any credit? He's been decent.
Actually,
since
it's been
come back.
okay, but he's playing for a contract, so he needs to put these performances and take these opportunities.
He's another one
and
that had the Dele Alli
I feel
thing,
like
you know?
he's similar in that Dele Alli
Fam,
mode where you've been
What are
in the
you?
wilderness so
What
long.
are you?
Yeah.
What are you?
Oh, you're right.
I can't
winger?
remember.
Are you a 10?
The last
Are you
time,
an 8?
it might sound brash, but the last time Oxlade-Chamberlain for me was like, wow. Remember he was playing right wing back?
Yeah.
And it's like, wow. A man was doing attacking
Yeah.
fullback before it became
was
a
a thing.
buzzword again.
Yeah.
He was killing it. That's how he got the move, innit?
100%,
He was
yeah.
killing it. And he's like,
He
I don't
was
want to
like,
play
"Yo,
it.
I beg you, just don't play me
I don't want to
wide."
play. I want to play centre mid. And now I don't know what you are. But again,
And
he's
that's the
trying.
thing.
So.
He's one that's got 18 months left on his contract, so he
Boy,
needs to
yeah, he's
take
done the
whatever
same.
opportunities he can get. But Thiago, that's the
Credit where
wrinkle.
credit is due.
Last season, I remember we was like, "Yo, is this brain gonna fit in this machine
Yeah.
that Klopp has built?" And it's like, if they can add that wrinkle, brother.
I think you got to give the
Liverpool
manager
look-
credit for that as well, for persisting and trying to get in there.
He has to. He has to, man. I feel like Thiago 2 years ago, bro, we were talking about best midfielder in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get that on a free or however little they paid it was. It might as well have been on a free.
Yeah.
But you're thinking, yo, you've got to make full use of that.
Yeah, no, they're trying. We're saying champs and duds of the week.
My champ this week, Thiago, Maddison. I'll give them nods, but I would say the biggest champ, I would say Messias Jr. for AC Milan. I don't know if you man know
That's
about
big,
him.
that was a
Made
good
his
story,
debut
yeah.
in the Champions League 3 years ago. Was I think part-time footballer,
Yeah,
delivery
yeah.
driver before that, brother.
Yeah.
When we talk about dreams, and he's making his Champions League debut at what, 29?
Is it 30?
30.
Yeah.
So we're talking grown men here.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, I can relate.
Age mates. Listen, your age mates. That's an age mates.
So I'm proud of you, my bro.
said
That was
the
all
age-
for us.
Man
The
said-
OGs.
That's about age mates. No, that's a good champ.
Yeah.
That's a good champ. I've got kind of two champs that stick out. Jamie Vardy's on 9 goals, I think. I don't even know where these 9 goals are coming from. I don't know how he's scoring goals, but he's on 9 goals. So I feel like, shout him out.
Scoring bare consolations and then Leicester losses.
Fam, but they lost, but I want to give a shout out to Emmanuel Dennis, He's on him and Salah are the only players that have got like more than 5 goals, 5 assists. He's got 5 goals, 5 assists on the dot.
Yeah.
And his first season in the Premier League coming from Club Bruges.
Belgian league hype.
Fam, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people won't people remember him scoring the goal against Real Madrid, and it's like he's kind of he's cool and everything.
Yeah.
He's quietly having a very good season. I know it's like Watford and everything; they might even still go down, but
Listen,
and we're talking about
need
putting yourself in the
players
shop
like
window.
that to step up, bro.
Wait,
When
listen,
you're-
10 goal contributions already.
That's it.
That keeps you up. Brighton would fall on their knees for him.
For real.
Potter's another champ of the week as well. My duds, Brighton.
Bro, I was
Potter-
just about to say,
Potter's
Brighton
the champ
fans
of
are
the
my
week.
duds.
Brighton fans are booing Graham Potter. Don't get me wrong. Like we've always said, Graham Potter. It's great and everything. This T for football that you're
XG
trying
hype.
to do. XG hype. Okay, cool. Not big fans of it, but you know what? You're making something happen
Yeah.
at Brighton. They're 8th. Them man are booing him for getting a draw against Leeds. Bielsa. Boo. He's getting a draw. They're booing him. I don't know what you man want. I don't know. You man came from Glenn Murray getting 12 goals, keeping you up. Be happy that this man is at your football club.
Like,
Even if
sometimes-
you lose, you should clap.
Sometimes when you're doing well as a club and like even
You get too big for your boots. So they got nice stadium and that. Amex Stadium.
Hey, you
hat.
know what? Why are we challenging for the title though? Like, hey, no. Know your role.
That man
jabroni,
heard that what
as the
teams
Rock
were in
used
for
to say.
Basuma and thought they're Champions League candidates. No,
Hey, smoking
don't
butch.
boo men like that. And the reason why I give him champ is because he knows he's with the shit. Man said, I think they're a bit delusional.
Yeah,
Man said, listen,
he kept it true.
he kept it true
Yeah.
with his new beard and that, trying to look like a new man. He kept it true. And for me, that's a sign of a
Rebrand.
man that knows that, you know what, people are trying to put him up for big clubs, big things in the UK. But like you said about players, I don't understand why Europe is not a thing. He could go to a very good team in Europe based on how he plays football.
come
and
from
everything.
Europe. He was in Norway.
Yeah, that's it. He won the league in Norway, innit?
Yeah.
But he could go to like a team in Italy. He could go to a team in France and be like a top 4 manager and do so. You don't have to go for a big club in the Prem. People always like Prem. Prem's not the only way to go Champions League, my
Yeah.
brother. He could go literally based on how he plays football. He could go to another team.
Take over Atlanta, Gasparini when he leaves.
Club
Brugge.
Brugge. You know what? Atalanta's one of them
Atlanta's
teams.
a good
Yeah.
shout, isn't it?
Atalanta was a power front, bro.
Hey, that's a good shout, bro. I'm telling you.
On that segue,
I can
Juventus,
see
talk
that.
to me. Dudry.
Hey, bro,
Talk to me.
like when you talk about a club that we talk about them as they're like European elites, bro.
Yeah.
You man pumped them 4-0 midweek like they were, and you look at the system they were playing. They brought Allegri back, the dinosaur, playing 4-4-2 in 2021, playing Weston McKennie out wide, who's a centre mid. I don't know what's going on here. And this is a team that all throughout them, when Ronaldo left, it was like, oh, yeah, we're going to do better this season. Yeah. Now, Mr. Big Ego's out the door. Yeah, we're going to crack on. Bonucci, we ain't forgot, bruv. Where you lot now? I think 5 losses and 3 draws already in Serie A.
At the 8th.
Guess how much Pirlo lost last season? Altogether, we was laughing at him. 6. So if we're talking about duddery as a club, I think they're now 11 points behind Napoli. The Napoli win as well. It could be 14 actually.
I don't know if Napoli won.
So they're 14 points.
Napoli are going to struggle a bit without Osimhen.
So for me, it's just pure duddery of a club who we looked at like Champions League semi-finalists regular for the last 5-6 years. We always talk about AC's decline and Barca's decline. Like, we need to start looking at Juve a little bit suspect, bro, because I even look at their squad and you're thinking, who are the stars that are going to drag Chiesa they're relying on, but
they play Chiesa.
It's like Chiesa ball and that's it. Bernardeschi, who's got what, four league goals over the last 3 seasons.
Yikes. Where's Dybala?
Dybala's doing, I can't lie, he's
I'm saying,
doing a little remontada. He's there. Yeah, he might not sign a new contract. Is this contract run out this summer as well? Ooh.
Yikes.
So this is what I'm saying. So if he jumps ship, boy, I'd be really worried because Chiellini, Bonucci, that's a year or 2. And then what? Delict. You might have to sell that for funds to reinvigorate this whole squad, bruv. And I'm sorry, but returning Allegri was not it. So for me, Juve this week.
But you were Pirlo out though as well,
Atalanta dumped on him yesterday as well.
You was Pirlo out though, innit?
Yeah, I was Pirlo out, but it's because I've always had a soft spot for Juve, man. Where's my keys? I've got them on my keychain, man. But like Edgar Davids days, you know what I mean? The goggles, we remember.
When
the
was it that Juve
sad.
played that Champions League final? It doesn't feel like that long. Maybe 6-7 years, 6 years ago.
2017. When was they in the final?
It was against Atletico, right?
It was 18, yeah, 18 because we were 19. Yeah.
Wow. And then
so that's what I'm saying. 3 years later, this is where we are. And 3 years, that was the Ronaldo project. We're gonna win the Champions League now. You flop that, and then it's like now after that, you're almost going into free fall, bro.
It's a bit rough, isn't it?
It's mad. 9-year domination.
That's a good dud, though. That's a really good dud. You got champs and duds?
No, not really. Spurs are my duds.
What for?
NSG? Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
With NSG.
Absolute duddery.
What Spurs done?
I
think Shirky's my champ.
He's doing well, you know.
Who?
Shirky.
Ryan
Shirky, okay.
Yeah. I ain't Cam,
yeah, he's doing his thing. He's had to come back. He's had to bounce back. That's a good one.
Yeah, I can't lie. I got to give you.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Your boy Nkunku. You a couple weeks ago.
He's cooking still.
Ever since I've been watching him, I said, yo, I can't even lie. He's on crud this season,
he's
bro.
Cooking. No, I'm sorry. My dad has to go to Everton and Rafa Benitez.
Oh, he's under pressure now.
They're winless in 7 games, bro.
He under pressure now, boy. Rafa, Bielsa, listen,
all it took was
heavy
boys.
boys.
No DCL, no Richarlison. And if you saw the way Delph was looking at him on the bench, yeah,
doing up Braun adverts.
Delph was looking at Delph was
Rondon.
Hey, Delph was looking at Benitez on the bench like Pep would never allow this.
Oh shit.
Oh flip. But listen, next week
big up Stevie G as well.
Yeah, big up Stevie. That's 2 and 2 innit? Yeah, no, that's a shout. Next week I want to talk about you know how we talk about attacking fullbacks and everything. I want to talk about defensive fullbacks because I heard Kyle Walker talking about something.
DFs.
And he, you know what? He literally said with his own mouth. He said, if you think about it, I'm not attacking fullback anymore. For the last 3 seasons, I'm the cover and I enjoy it.
Who's that?
Kyle Walker.
Yeah, I would say so, yeah.
He said when he joined, he was the attacking fullback.
Yeah.
Then when it tweaked and everything, because obviously they had Delph and Zinchenko,
for me,
they went into midfield and he was covering. And he was like, I enjoy it.
Ever since Southgate put him in the back 3,
yeah,
I think it opened Pep's eyes to, this guy can defensively be sound.
He's saying before that, when Delph and Zinchenko were moving forward into midfield, I was coming back and I've enjoyed it. And I was like, you know what?
Got it from there.
But I was like, you know what? The reason why I respect it is because at the end of the day, you got to remember, this guy moved from Spurs, he went and win all the trophies. Like, Kyle Walker, you've got to respect what he's done, bro.
Tomiyasu, defensive fullbacks. That's
going to bring defensive
one of the
fullbacks back,
bro. Like, I know he's an Arsenal guy, but should have been our guy.
Defensive fullbacks back.
I got big love for Tomiyasu, man.
100%. You know what? On that bombshell, that's another episode of Stoppage Time TV. Like, share, subscribe, hit up our personals, hit up the stoppage. Let us know what you want to hear from us. Remember, STTV, Manscaped, discount. Do what you need to do. We out.
Peace.